Okay, so we are going to create our storytellers today. So you're going to get a piece of clay like this, and the first thing you want to do is cut off a piece, just a small slice, set that aside, and then you're going to take your other piece and you're going to cut it in half. And then with each of these, you want it to be about the same size. Then with each of these pieces, you are going to create a pinch pot. So remember, with clay, we really kind of have to pat the sides. This is a little bit harder, and we want to get rid of that the square side. So we're just going to pat it into the ball. Set aside. I'm going to go ahead and pat both of them into a ball to start. Okay, and then you're going to put in your thumb, and then you're going to start pinching. Remember, you don't pinch like this with 2 fingers, you pinch with the whole hand. Thumb on the inside, fingers on the outside. And you want to pinch until the walls are even and they're about as thick as an Oreo cookie. And if you remember from our practice last time, you also want to make sure that you're kind of pulling it up rather than pulling it out. With a regular pinch pot, it doesn't matter as much, but since this is the base, or since this is going to become our body, we don't want it to be short and flat. Okay, so same thing here, put in my thumb, pinch, and turn. Okay, until I have 2 pinch pots, and then I am going to see how they line up, and they mostly fit together. So I am going to use a toothbrush and water on both of them. To attach. So remember, we want to have rough surfaces help fit together better than smooth. And then the water and clay mixed together to make slip, which is kind of like a clay glue. Okay, then I'm going to use my stick to kind of stick tool to kind of stitch those pieces together. And then you smooth it out. Okay, then I am going to set this piece aside. And you kind of you're going to want this to sit, so it's okay to kind of set it down a little bit heavy just to flatten out the bottom. Then I'm going to take another piece of clay, and with this one I am going to take it and cut it into 2 pieces that are not quite even. I want one to be smaller than the other, well, quite a bit smaller. Okay, so about like this, maybe about 1/3. Cut about 1/3 of it off. Okay, then I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to pat it into a ball. Okay, so I'm making a head, and this is going to be too thick, would be too thick to create, to make the whole, to make just as a head. So I'm going to, again, make a pinch pot out of it. Pinch until the walls are as thick as an Oreo. And then I want to turn it back into a ball, but I just will need it to be hollow. So I'm pulling these pieces back together to create a ball. And again, I'm going to use a toothbrush and water, just a smidge, to kind of help hold those together. And then I'm patting it again making sure to be gentle because I don't want to smash it all together and get rid of that hole inside. Okay, so this is my head now. And so check to make sure that that's a decent size to fit with the body. And then attach, again, toothbrush and water. Make sure you're scratching the surface, not just getting it wet. Okay, so now we're going to make the legs. I'm going to take these pieces and I start rolling in my hands just to get it soft before I roll on the table. I'm trying to decide exactly how thick I want them to be. Okay, so I'm trying to decide how, if this is a good thickness for this. I'm pretty happy with that. So now I'm gonna roll out this other one. And that's about the same thickness. I'm not happy with how smooth it is. Smooth it out a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to attach about here, I think. So remember, use your toothbrush and water. Remember, this is called scoring. When you make the clay rough, that is called scoring. Again, the toothbrush and the water and clay mix together to make slip, which is like a clay glue. And then I'm gonna stitch it together. And smooth this out. Okay, then I'm going to determine how long I want the legs to be, remembering that I still need to add the feet. It might actually be better to create the feet first. Let's do that with the next one. Okay, yeah, I like that. Okay, so same thing here, except I'm going to go ahead and make the foot first. And then oh, that looks kind of awkward actually. Let me do it this way. That makes more sense. And I need it to be a little bit shorter to be the same length as the other one. More than that. There, that looks like it would match up. Okay, and then again, toothbrush and water to attach. Toothbrush and water to attach, and remember that's called scoring. And again, I'm going to stitch around here and then smooth it out. And if you're having a hard time with these, this would definitely be a good place to add little coils of clay to help those attach a little bit better. Okay, so now I'm going to set these aside. I'm going to make the arms. I'm going to make the arms out of this piece of clay. I'm not sure how well you can see this. Okay, so I'm going to pull these, cut this out. And maybe a smidge thinner than that. Okay, that would work. So roll both of those out. And line them up. And I'm going to make the hand Remember, it's like a doll hand with all the fingers attached, or a mitten if you're not familiar with that. I've got some cracks in there. I just want to smooth those out so they don't become bigger. And then my arm is too long. No big deal. I'm going to make those a little bit smaller. And attach. Okay, and here, let's make a hand on this side actually. And test my size. That works. And I'll attach this one. Okay, then I'm going to start making the listeners. I don't know how well you can see this. Storyteller here. I'm going to start making the listeners. So I'm using my leftover clay.